Plane crash which killed the former chief of army staff was not an accident. Retired general reveals the unbelievable. Hey guys, Aso Rock is shaking up. Everywhere don't scatter. Has this general come review waiting kill, you know, the former chief of army staff? You understand? Everybody now don't they run left, right, and center. Abeg, make we hit the news and get the full details. But before then, guys, if you are just joining us, please kindly subscribe to this channel and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Retired Major General Danjuma Ali Kefi, the former general officer commanding GOC of one division of the Nigerian Army, has raised serious concerns about the fatal air crash that claimed the life of the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atairu, and the second two senior military officers. In an exclusive interview with This Day, Ali Kefi contends that the crash is intricately linked to terror financiers, urging President Bola Tinubu to launch an immediate investigation into the incident. Ali Kefi, who expressed his reservations about the official investigation, alleges a deliberate suppression of critical details surrounding the crash. He emphasized that the full report of the investigation has not been disclosed to the public, adding an air of suspicion to the circumstances leading up to the tragic incident. The retired general asserted that Atairu was pivotal in formulating strategies to eradicate terrorism in northern Nigeria. Ali Kefi contended that the late army chief's effort to tackle terrorism extended to exposing and neutralizing terror financiers. In a detailed account of the event leading to the crash, Ali Kefi raises questions about the abstract changes in the scheduled trip, alterations in the choice of aircraft, and modifications in the landing airport. He points to a sequence of unusual events, including the aircraft descent in storming weather, a delayed departure, and an ear-shattering explosion before the crash, casting doubt on the official narrative. Ali Kefi explained, about 2,100 hours on Thursday, 20th May 2021, I spoke on phone with the Chief of Staff, the COS, to the late Chief of Army Staff regarding their impending trip to Kaduna the following day, 21st May 2021. I had earlier spoken with the General Atairu on the same issue. We ended our conversation on the note that the Chief of Army Staff and entourage would come by flight at about 1,000 hours the following day. About 0630 hours the following morning, I called the COS to the late Chief of Army Staff to confirm if their travel plan was as we discussed the night before, as I needed to make arrangements for the mosque that the Chief of Army Staff will attend Jumat's Friday prayers. The COS informed me that there was a change of plan. He said after we finished speaking last night, they received a message that the late Chief of Army Staff was to attend a meeting either at the Honorable Minister of Defense office or at the Presidential Villa at about 1,000 hours on Friday, 21st May 2021, and that the late Chief of Army Staff was to attend in person and not send a representative. It is important to note that the late Chief of Army Staff trips to Kaduna was part of his visit to Zaria to attend the passing out parade at the depot NA slated for Saturday, 22nd May 2021. It was worth noting that the movement of the service chiefs out of station Abuja is with the prior knowledge of the Chief of Defence Staff, the CDS, the Honorable Minister of Defence, and the Presidency. So why was a meeting scheduled for about the same time that the late Chief of Army Staff was to have departed from or arrived Kaduna, and why the insistence that the Chief of Army Staff, should not be represented? In any case, the COS informed me that in view of the meeting, they would depart the flag house, that is the office residence of the Chief of Army Staff, at about 15:30 hours after attending the meeting, and also after the Jumat prayers for the airport. They expected to arrive the airport at about 16,000 hours, board the aircraft at about 160 to 16:15 hours, and depart for Kaduna at about 1,600 hours. I was informed that they had arrived the presidential wing of the airport. I then sent off from the Stallion House, the official residence of the GOC, with my entourage in a convoy, and arrived the Air Force Base at about 1:15 hours. For reasons that I cannot understand till today, the flight was delayed for over an hour and did not take off until 17:30 hours or thereabouts. The reason for the delay, as I was informed, was that there was issue with the aircraft that was initially assigned for the mission to convey the Chief of Army Staff and his entourage, and that it had to be changed. Ali Cafe also disclosed that many time there was a methodological alert that Kaduna airspace was going to experience heavy rainfall accompanied with a storm, and it was advised already. The cloud had formed in Kaduna, which was visible to us at the airport. As a matter of fact, the cloud was so thick, which was indicative of a massive storm. I began to nurse doubts about the flight. At some point, I voiced my doubts to all comrades, Iyamu and Air Comrade Aliu, who were with me to receive the Chief of Army Staff. I even suggested that they should advise Abuja of weather conditions with a view to having the flight cancelled. At that point, I was informed that the aircraft was airborne. I became concerned as to whether the aircraft would be able to land at the airport in such a heavy rainfall storm. The rain had started falling then. Thus, I was not surprised when Air Comrade Aliu informed me that we had to go to the civil, that is international airport, as the NAF runaway was not long enough to enable the aircraft land under the atrocious weather condition. So we then set up for the international airport, but at a snail speed due to the heavy rainfall, which was accompanied with shell, highs, and particles. The former GOC said, when we got to the vicinity of the airport, there was a thunderous sound which I thought was the sound of thunder. We had earlier sighted what I believe was the aircraft descending to land on the runway when we turned the bend to enter the tarmac. The thought of my mind was that the aircraft had touched down and was tossing to the parking area. I could not see any aircraft on the runway. I fantastically looked around, and by the far side of the runway, there was a fireball. It was the aircraft convening the general tyro. We got out from the vehicle, we crossed the runway and approached the burning aircraft. Firefighters were on hand to put off the blast. At the same point, we had to pull back due to the fear of exploding cylinders. We later recovered the corpses of the 10 passengers on board the ill-fated plane from where the plane wreckage was apparently their bodies, which were on fire. We were floating from the aircraft before it came down, away in flames. Furthermore, the aircraft, or what was left of it, at least what I could recollect, was an relatively flat grassland. There was no crater. There was indicative of a mined air explosion. So what caused the aircraft to explode? I wonder what the air safety and the incident investigation bureau report says about the incident. Ali Cafe further queried, was the flight deliberately delayed in order to be catch up in the rainstorm? Was the aircraft sabotage, which caused it to explode mid-air? Was the explosion caused by explosive? Was a bomb planted in the aircraft or contained in a parcel which a passenger unknowingly carried? Nigerians, there is more to this. Abeg, I go drop am here. Wetin I get to talk concerning this, because the matter e plenty.